again. This is our first episode of the new series, Stories of the Bible. Obviously, last time was the introduction where I didn't actually tell a story, so I will start today with the story of creation. As I said in the last video, I will be speaking about the story of creation from Genesis chapter 1, the entire thing, and finishing with Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 through 4, not 1 through 2. So you can find that on Google, and you're going to see it pop up here on the screen somewhere. But I will be, as if I do read any, I will be reading from the New Living Translation, and you can find that online. You can find that on a Bible app. You can order a Bible of that translation if you would like. It's totally up to you, or you can use your own translation that you prefer, which is more than fine. So, I, once in a while, will add an anecdote to the stories, and today's anecdote is actually from my very first philosophy class, and only philosophy class. Don't know why I said it that way. The only thing I remember from that class, and don't tell the teacher that because he did do a good job, it's just not something that sticks with me. But the one thing that has always stuck with me was a philosopher once said that they do believe that there was a Big Bang. But if there's a Big Bang, then there had to be a Big Banger. And that banger is God. He is the one who made it all happen. And the reason why I love that is just like a light bulb went off in my head when I heard that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true. Like, that is such a good way to put it. Because if you read the story of creation, then it goes right along with the idea of a Big Bang, somewhat. Now, in the idea, in the scientific version of the Big Bang, everything came into existence in a moment. Animals, water, everything, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't really study that stuff too much. But if you read the Bible, and I do encourage you to do so, read this on your own. But, I mean, the very opening of Genesis chapter 1 is, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was empty, a formless mass cloaked in darkness. Well, that sounds like it was empty and there was nothing there. Now, he created the heavens and the earth, so they were there, but it was all formless and it was dark. And then the very next sentence, well, next two sentences, the Spirit of God was hovering over its surface. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So, all God had to do was speak, and that light came into existence. That sounds like the Big Bang to me. So, anyway, that's my anecdote for today. That is my thoughts on the creation story and science because, like I said, I am not really into science at all. Yeah, my tests from high school can prove that. So anyway, now I'm going to get back to the actual Word of God. And so that first day, like I said, God spoke, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day and the dark night. And that was the first day. Then on the second day, God separated the waters so that there was the water of the earth and the water of the heavens. And I believe he called the space that was in between the waters of the earth and the waters of the heaven sky. And that was the second day. Then God gathered all of the water that was on the earth into specific places, which caused dry spots, and God called those dry spots land. So then there were oceans, seas, rivers, etc., as well as land. And he saw that it was good, and that was the third day. Then, on the fourth day, God created things to govern the day and night, and to give light. And that would be the sun, the moon, and the stars. And he saw that it was good. And the way I think about it, so this is another anecdote, but this is more from a biblical perspective, is even at nighttime when it was dark, God never wanted his people to be without light. And so he created the moon, which obviously just reflects the light from the sun, but he created the moon to give us that light. And he also created the stars to give us light, so that even in the darkness, we can find those bits of hope and know we can walk forward in the light. So that's my anecdote on that. And he saw that it was good, and that was the 4th day. Then on the 5th day, God created the animals and creatures of the seas, as well as the animals and creatures of the skies. And he saw that it was good, and he told them to go and populate the earth. And that was the 5th day. Then on the 6th day, God called for animals to come forth and to populate the earth. But not only did he call animals on that day, but he also created man and woman. And the difference between humans and animals is, we're going to see this more next time when we talk about Adam and Eve, but God actually breathed his spirit into man. And that is the difference. That is, we are his people, and we are made in his image. And so, yeah, that happened on the 6th day. And then the important part, this is why I wanted to go into chapter 2 on this very first story, is because those were the first 6 days. And I apologize. I realized as I was reading that I actually missed something. So you remember how on the 3rd day, God separated the land and the water? Well, he also called forth plant life on that 3rd day. So that's how there were plants and plants to eat and plants that were growing trees and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's kind of important. My bad. Anyway, jumping back to the end. So we have the first 6 days where God has done all of this creating and all of this work. And it specifically states in verses 1 through 3, so the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. On the 7th day, having finished his task, God rested from all his work. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because it was the day when he rested from his work of creation. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, you have to rest on the 7th day, because you'll see this as when we finally get there to the New Testament, but Jesus and those he sent to speak to his people tells us one day isn't necessarily holy over another. If one person believes that one day should be a day of rest and should be the Holy Sabbath, great. If another believes that every single day should be lived with their heart treating it as holy and a Sabbath, great. That is their heart's desire. That is what is true for them through their relationship with God. So I'm not going to tell you, you have to choose one day specifically. You all have to rest on Saturday. You all have to rest on Sunday. That's not what I'm going to tell you. But what I am going to say is, don't spend your entire life working without a time of rest. We were never meant to work without rest. And so from this first story, my challenge to you is rest. Take a break. It's okay. And with that, I will see you next time. Take care.